is exactly what we teach in the program, exactly what Erin does. She'll create one piece of content and we use it on everywhere, on Instagram, on the Facebook pages, on her blog, on her podcast. So it just goes to show that you can just create one piece of content and spread it out, and it's like incredible how much you can get out of that one piece. So that is awesome.
Very exciting. Very cool.
Yes. So any other wins that you have, you can definitely post them in the channel, in the chat. And
Yes,
just
do you have the food drive today in Anaheim?
that you mute your phone lines.
Okay, is it for anybody, or what do you need to bring there?
There we go. Just make sure you keep yourselves muted. So yeah, and then we do have one pre-submitted question, Coach Myra. So I will get to that one first, and then we can open the floor up for any additional questions.
Great.
All right. So the first question. Let's see here. I want to create a blog post for weekly events and then post on social media. So how do we also do that, but then also add the sign up so that it goes to MailChimp?
I'm going to share my screen here quick. So this is my website, and you'll see this is last week's event post. And thank you to Stephanie that reminded me that there are still events on Facebook. So I did go ahead and fill out my post. What she's talking about in the question is we have two ways on our website that someone can sign up. The first one would be here in the sidebar, and in the website in a weekend training, we show how to make this little box here where people can enter a form, and that this form goes right to MailChimp. So if somebody fills this out, this shows up on every single page of my website because it's in the sidebar, except the home page. So everywhere else it's seen. And then what I also have done is at the bottom of each event post, I have this embedded form, which is basically the same thing. It just comes right from MailChimp. And I put it at the bottom just as another reminder to sign up. And since I feel like since I've added this, I get a few signups every week, so that's been helpful. Now the way to do that is pretty easy. I'm going to edit this post so you can see the back end of it.
Oh, this is for, okay.
And it's just in WordPress we have blocks. All of these are in blocks. So this is an HTML block that I've just copied HTML code from MailChimp and posted it here into this HTML block. So let me jump over to MailChimp. If I go to, all right, I have to remember, create, and I want to create a sign up form, and then I'll select the audience. Most of you will only have one audience if you're using the free version. And it lets you just basically design a form. Right here, let's see here. They have just different kinds of, I'm going to say condensed here. And you really don't need much more here than just an email address, but if you want to add a name, you might have to go, let me go into advanced here. I feel like every time I go into MailChimp, it gives me, all right, it's just giving me a thing here. Hold on one second. Usually it's giving me more options to add fields. I'm not sure why it's not right now. Sign up forms. All right, I'm going to try doing this from another way, because when I tried this morning, it gave me a lot more options. So if I go to audience, sorry about this, guys. That I did create. I'll try this again. Embedded form. I might have to make an anchor video how to do this, because it just isn't giving me. Oh, here we go. Show all fields. Here we go. Okay. So this is a classic form. And what you can do, you should be able to change which fields you want. So here, this would be showing just the required fields. This is showing all fields. So I would just leave it at that and copy this HTML down here, and then go back to your page and you would paste it. So what you would do, you would add custom HTML and paste it in there. And that's how you can add a second form. Make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you. All right. That was the only pre-submitted question. So Stephanie did have a question. I guess going back to our win that we had today, would you go live at a market for 15 minutes? Going back to the farmer's market, I guess just ideas of if you would go live there, how long would you go live for? And
oh, well, I think, you know, my first live that I did on my page was from a pumpkin patch that I went to in October, and mine was pretty short. I mean, I didn't, you know, that's when I just started my page, so I didn't have a lot of viewers anyway, but I think I just did like a 3 or 4 minute. But I feel like the longer that you're on the live, the more people that are going to see it, because Facebook will push it out in front of people, and that takes a little time. So I don't think there's anything wrong with doing 15 minutes. I don't know that you're going to want to do a 15-minute YouTube video after that. You might want to, well, you could. I mean, depending on what the topic is.
I'm sorry?
But I think the point is,
yeah, the one that they pulled out.
Getting the information out there.
So I wonder
like
which
Andrew
one
did.
they messed up on.
Stephanie, want to expand on your question at all?
I think she went on to say that she accidentally went live for 30 minutes. So Stephanie, do you want?
It's
Do
only
you have
11
any-
boxes.
Started
The one that, have you
there's
seen
no
the other
clock on there, so I didn't realize, you know, how long I was going. I thought it was going to give me a clock to say how long.
Yeah,
and I was like, no.
I haven't
But
had a chance to
I have
call them
been
because
curious
I've been on
about,
Zoom call for a while.
You know, we're given the target of 15 minutes, and I've been
Yeah.
thinking in my head of places that I could go, like, because there's so
I'll keep
few
you posted
right now,
once
like
I
a
get
farmer's
the
market,
info,
or
and
like
then take
to
it
go
from there.
pick up my
Yeah.
takeout or something, but I can't
Awesome.
talk for 15 minutes
Yeah,
about
sure.
picking up my takeout, and I have to put on a mask. So, you know, like,
Right.
you know, do you just target like 3 or 4 minutes, and that's just what it is?
I think I would try to do at least 5 minutes. It's okay. So the purpose of live is to getting to have people jump on with you, right? And yes, you can use it. Like Andrew did great and used it for more than just that. He saved it.
Yeah.
That video is like, that's going to be content for the next 3 months.
Lockdown.
And that blog post,
It's
be
humping
careful
away.
how you name it, because
It's humping away
if
with the
someone's
amount of
searching for
rocky
farmers markets in your area, that blog
Yeah.
post will come up forever. So I would keep updating that blog post as we go along, you know, because that's a great
Oh, okay.
SEO rich blog post.
Wow.
But yeah, Stephanie, I mean, I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
depends
I'll
what
give
you're
him a
doing and where you
discount as well.
are, you know. I mean, I think
So,
uh, we're giving you good ideas
Right.
for Facebook Lives in our, you know, in the content and resources. But I think anything that answers or allows people to come
Yeah,
on
all right,
and get their
thanks.
questions
Bye.
answered is going to be great.
Okay.
And Stephanie, what is really cool is like every time you go live, it like notifies your all your followers as soon as you go live. So pick a time to go live whenever you know you have a lot of people online. So look at your insights and stuff before. That way you can like pick a time and then go when it's really a popular time for your audience, and then you'll get more views that way too. And another thing is if you engage on that post, like if they ask a question and you are able to, you know, like stop and like comment back or however, like the more engagements you get, the more reach you're going to get too. So.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Joanne had a question, Coach Myra, about what you were talking about earlier. She came in a little bit late to the MailChimp form question, and her question was, can you share a little bit about creating an attractive YouTube page like yours? And just make sure everybody is on mute so that we can cut back on some background noise.
That was a couple, I wanted to come in here. The MailChimp form, Myra, I saw the tail end of that. What page did you post that onto, or what do you recommend page posting that onto your website?
I just posted that form, and again, in the website in a weekend, we show you how to put a MailChimp form in the sidebar. So it shows up on every page on your website. In this scenario, I have it at the end of my weekly events post on my blog. So if someone's scrolling through that whole post, if they find it on my website or if they click on there from when I post it onto Facebook, then they can see again at the end, you can sign up for this list to receive it every week.
Okay, and then the second question was, oh, maybe you haven't got to that one yet, sorry.
Oh,
About,
I didn't think my YouTube page was that. Are you talking about my YouTube page?
I think your YouTube page is it's a lot nicer than mine.
I don't even know what it looks like. Hold on, I better check this out.
It's very attractive, appealing. I'm not sure, I don't know that much about YouTube, but maybe I just have a basic low end, or maybe because I'm not paying anything. Do you pay anything for your?
No, I do not. No.
Okay, well,
So we do have in the course, we do show how to hold on one second, because I do have a couple of Facebook pages, but this should be my.
It's like you have a header, you have like a banner header above.
Well, I think for that I would have just done that and it doesn't even show the whole thing. It cuts it off, which is when you go into I just did in Canva. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I just look for YouTube banners, but even when you do that, see how it still cuts it off. So I feel like you have to put any wording there, you have to put it right in the middle of your photo, or it can be cut off. Maybe on the phone, it doesn't cut it off. I really don't know, but I just put, and of course, this is not what happens when you first come. This is like my view of it, but for people that first come to my page, I do have a little intro video, but we talk about that in the course. So there is, Ashley, do you remember which week that is? Is it week 5 or 6? I think where we talk about maximize.
I'll check actually. Hold
Yeah.
on a second.
Myra, I'm actually in week 5 now, and she just touched on that.
Thank you. Okay,
No problem.
week 5. Perfect. Yeah,
I'm like in week 6.5, so I need to go. I'm going back because there's some things that I don't know. I didn't feel YouTube I was worried about YouTube. I was more worried about my website and getting that built out. So I have that pretty well set. So Want to work on YouTube and MailChimp. I haven't done anything with MailChimp either, so wanted to work on those.
Yeah, those, I think get your MailChimp. If you're working on your website, you're going to need to get your MailChimp at least set up and build it and put that audience in there. Otherwise, you won't be able to put it on your website.
So
So
I
even
just
if you're
signed
the
up.
only person in your audience, just subscribe to it.
Okay, I just signed up for Lion Desk and put all my contacts in Lion Desk. Should I take all my contacts from Lion Desk and put them in MailChimp?
So eventually you can, you know, if you want to send them all your weekly, whoever you want to send your weekly events guide to, you can
Okay.
put them in that audience in MailChimp. But remember, the only thing you're doing in MailChimp is that events guide.
Okay, good to know, because I wasn't sure what the purpose of MailChimp was. I was creating, so on that sidebar for somebody to sign in for my newsletter. Is that the same? Is the newsletter the same as
Yes, absolutely. It's
the
we call it
event?
the
You call it an
newsletter.
event.
Yes. Here that is right. You can see that right here.
Yeah, so that was created with MailChimp?
It was created in website. You'll get to that part of it. It's a little complicated to explain.
Yeah, it
but
is.
This
It's
form
complicated.
in WordPress, in the theme, this form, you connect it to your MailChimp audience. So that
Okay.
automatically anyone that signs up here will be put in the MailChimp audience.
So should I ask that question, how to do that on Monday's coaching call?
Well, there is a video for it
Okay,
in Website in a Weekend.
okay, I'll go back and.
I'm just saying, before you get to that part, you need to sign up for MailChimp. You just get the free account and name your audience. You're going to build a new audience and add yourself as a subscriber so that you can, when you get to this part in Website in a Weekend, if you don't have an audience, you'll have nothing to attach this form to.
I have MailChimp up and running, but I haven't done anything with it. So I just need to create the audience and add myself.
Yes, it's very easy.
Okay.
Very easy.
All right.
And you
I'll do
don't
that
need
too.
much info. I wouldn't, you just need, you can see here I have first name and email. I don't ask for phone number, I mean, it's just, I'm just want to mail to them. These are not real estate leads. Keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. What's the point of that? Just collecting the email addresses?
Just so you can be in front of these people in your community every week.
Okay. Got it.
And I did check, Joanne, and for anyone else who's on here, the YouTube optimization video is actually in week 6. It's in one of the bonus videos. So if you guys haven't checked out all the bonuses throughout all of the courses every week, there's, several of the weeks have a lot of good bonuses. So check those out because it is in there. So.
Okay. I have one more question for Myra since I have her, if that's okay. Or do you have more questions?
We do have a few more questions, so we'll jump back to you at the end
Okay.
if we have some extra time.
Just about
Sure.
tags.
Okay. Well, while we're on MailChimp, Coach Myra, we actually have a question from Michelle. She's wondering, wouldn't you use MailChimp for just listed and open houses?
I mean, sending out emails for them? Well, you certainly could. I mean, if you have a just listed in that community where you're trying to focus, I would say it's pretty appropriate to put a just listed email out to those people. But remember, you're only giving them real estate information. These are not real estate leads. These people have not signed up to receive like listings or anything like that. So if you're doing like hey, just want to share with everybody that there's a new listing in this city or whatever whatever area is, you could do that, but you do risk having people unsubscribe. Now you could, in your weekly event guide, you could add an open house there as one of the events, or you could slip in a new listing in there. There's nothing wrong with that. So just be careful with bombarding people with too much information. Now, if you want to get a paid version of MailChimp, you can have more than one list. So if you want to upload people in your sphere or past clients and make a list of those people and send them just listed or something like that. I mean, you could do that too, but I would probably do that from my CRM.
Okay. Yeah, and she actually commented that she liked your guide idea. So that's perfect. Thanks for sharing that. A couple of questions coming in about CRM and using MailChimp and like the preferred CRM that Aaron recommends and stuff. Do you want to touch on any of those here?
So the first thing I'll say is that just remember, and I repeat this all the time, but it's very important, that MailChimp, again, is only for people that subscribe to your newsletter in the way that we're teaching it in this course, because we don't want our past clients and real estate leads unsubscribing from a newsletter that we're sending, and then we can't email them anymore. So that's why we're keeping them separate. So your CRM is where you keep all your leads, your past clients, your sphere, people that you want to send information about real estate. And some of you are in the early weeks, but remember our focus is community, not real estate. So when you're a community influencer, it's bigger than just real estate. So that's why we're separating the two. Now, again, you can make a list in MailChimp or add your past clients to your weekly events guide list and mail it out to them. Or you could send them an email from your CRM asking them to subscribe to your events guide, or however you're comfortable doing it. But we just keep it separate.
Fucking is sick though.
Okay. Thank you, Coach
Especially if it was
Myra.
funny because he's talking about
A question from Andrew. He has a question about the community pages and if they should be the same as the moving to pages. If they are not the same, would you do a more condensed version for the community page?
Oh, I have them as the same. I'll share my screen again.
Pipes fabricated at the
So here's one. I was just looking for a good photo for this one today. So here's a city that I cover, and this is a community page. And what I've got here is a bunch of resources, and you'll notice I have home value, which is a landing page from listings to leads, and then I have Princeton, Minnesota real estate agent, which happens to go to me. This goes to my about page on my website or my contact page. School information, things to do in Princeton. I remember if you were on last week, I showed the thing to do is Google the name of the city and see what Google recommends or about that city. So Google will say, oh, here are the things to do. Here's what's important about that city. And that's what I try to add on this page. So I've got some things here. All of these are links that are in a different color. And then, of course, at the very bottom, homes for sale. So what I did notice today, now, what I'm doing with this now, I do have 2 listings coming up in Princeton. So I wanted to make sure I worked on this page because next week I'll have personally a couple listings here, 2, maybe 3. So if I go to Google and I put in
very unforgiving though. Let's be real, Brad. Looking at this picture, he is very unforgiving.
moving to Princeton, Minnesota,
He's got reapers, Brad.
you'll see that I am right now number 4 on the first page of Google. And I think that's pretty darn good. So,
Wait a second. I thought we destroyed the ark.
now that might show up differently on different days, you never know. But the key is I want to be up on top of that list. The other thing that I'm doing right now, because I have listings coming, and you'll see here, I added a page earlier today called Princeton, Minnesota Homes on Acreage, because both the homes that I'm listing next week are on acreage. So what I'm going to do is make a landing page in listings to leads called Princeton, Minnesota Homes on Acreage. I will run an ad that will redirect to this page. And my goal is to collect, and I'm in this scenario, I'm going to collect email and phone number because I want to be able to call these leads. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm going to have all that information. I'll get less leads because I'm asking for phone number, but those will be serious buyers, most likely, if they're willing to put in all of their information. I'm probably not even going to do a Facebook. You know how we can add the Facebook button to sign in with Facebook. I'll probably just do a lead form on listings to leads and make them fill out their email and their phone number, because then I know it's accurate. Where Facebook sometimes it's an old email that they used 10 years ago. That way, as I put my listings on the market, I will be able to contact them, email them, you know, a new listing coming up, check this out, be the first to, you know, coming soon, whatever I decide to do. I'll already have a list of buyers before my house has even hit the market. And it will be good for SEO also.
Yes, love that. Thank you. Deborah had a question for you, Coach Myra. She was wondering if you create your own newsletter, and if so, do you have any examples that you could share?
My newsletter is just what I showed on my events guide. That's all I do. And like I said, sometimes I will add a listing there, and sometimes I will add an open house within that newsletter. Or if there's I don't know if can I go back there? I'll go back and show you. I oftentimes will add other blogs that I've written recently. So it really is like a newsletter but it's not focused on me. So I did the weekly events, which the list is not that long right now. And then I just kind of put this coronavirus resources on everything now. And then here's a blog that I wrote, online virtual tours and events to enjoy at home. And so I just copy all this and paste it into MailChimp and mail it out.
Okay.
So how exactly do you send it out by email then? Like if somebody does subscribe to your events guide, how does it actually go to them? Like if it's not an actual document, because this is just a tab in your website, correct? Am I understanding that
Well,
right?
no, let me see if I can find an example here. I thought maybe I had my Gmail open. No, I copy all this and paste it into MailChimp, into a campaign, and mail it out. So it and at the bottom of, oh, I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you have to sort of manually do that every time somebody puts in the request?
No, I do it every Friday.
I see, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't, if they sign in, they're not going to get anything immediately other than thank you for signing in. If they sign in, then they won't get anything from me until that Friday.
And so then every Friday you copy and paste your whole events guide.
Every Friday morning I write my list or my events.
Yeah.
And then I post it on my Facebook page, and then I go copy everything, paste it into MailChimp, and mail it out to my list.
I see. So they're just getting the most updated or most recent information every week going out.
Exactly. And then in that email, I put at the very bottom, click here for full list. Even though I'm emailing them the full list, I put at the bottom to click there, and it just basically takes them to that page on my website, the blog post. And, and sometimes I do update that list, like if I get other information. Like, for example, I put it out last week, and one of my local businesses reached out to me because she subscribes to it, and she said, oh, could you add my workout classes I'm doing online, and I'm like, oh, sure. So I added it to it,
I see. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a good way to drive some additional traffic to your site for sure. Okay. Moving on to Liz, Coach Myra. She had a question. She's about to start a drip email campaign based on Aaron's template, but she's afraid of bombarding them too much with information. So she was wondering what your thoughts are. Should she ask them first or just start sending?
So who are you sending it to, Liz?
Oh, hi, Myra. So I did a listings to lead paid Facebook ad exactly like was advised based on a listing that I just sold and it just closed. I should have probably done a buyer's listing to lead asking for, if they wanted to do get their home value. But what I did was I had them click through to get information about what the sale price was on the house because people want to know that. So I'm struggling because I don't want to be too aggressive in sending the saying I already set up a safe search for you, but maybe that's okay. I mean, what do you think?
I know, and I totally understand how you feel because I have been the same way in the past. Like, I don't know if I want, but just do it. Just do it. They can always unsubscribe.
Because you just said, we don't want to bombard them with too much information, but
I was talking about people on your weekly event guide list.
Just
okay?
those people. Okay, that makes sense.
Because those people did not ask you for any real estate information whatsoever.
Exactly.
They only asked you for a list of events. So you don't want to start sending them listings. I could see sending them like a market update once a month or something.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, know your audience. Like if they didn't sign up to get real estate listings, don't set them up on a search, right?
Exactly.
But if your leads you're looking for real estate leads and they're clicking on houses, there's for that. So yeah, sometimes they'll email you and say, well, I just clicked on it, I'm not looking for a house. And then you can just say, well, that's okay. I'll just send you my monthly market update, or whatever. And just be aware of who you're, that's why our CRM is so great. But sometimes, like the weirdest, like the other day I had a guy and I've been emailing him for months probably. And he emailed me back a property, which I didn't even know that I sent to him because my IDX does it automatically, right? And he's like, $300 a square foot. It's all the email said was $300 a square foot, ? Exclamation point. And I'm like, and it wasn't my listing, And I just wrote back and I was like, I know, right? But it's already pending. Can you believe it? And then I was like, what are you looking for? So it's just, even if it's just like a negative thing, you can still maybe convert that person into a client down the road. So.
Okay, and then one last very quick question. So I just got LionDesk, so I'm going to do the drip campaign through LionDesk. I set up a campaign through LionDesk.
Yes.
Okay.
And there should be some videos on LionDesk, and I don't have personally LionDesk, but there will be videos in their training on how to do a drip campaign.
But I wouldn't do it through listings to leads. I would do it through LionDesk.
There's no way to do it through listings to leads. Now, what you should know about listings to leads is that if someone signs up for home value on your listings to leads, it will send them an update every month. So always sign yourself up so you know what is happening, right? So they do send an update every month. And I believe on your property, like if it goes pending or the price change or something like that, I believe he used to send those updates. So I'm not 100% sure anymore. I better check into that. I will before Friday. But I thought they would send updates for that as well. But for sure, the home value goes out every month.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll look into that too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Arvind had a question whether or not you had multiple web pages.
Do I have multiple web pages?
I'm guessing, yeah, multiple websites. Is that what you're?
I have I have a lot of web pages. I do have my main site is northwestmetroliving.com. I do have a website that my company provides to me. And I use that mainly for, well, all my listings automatically go on there, But if I have a listing that is outside the Northwest Metro, I do oftentimes point back to that, because if it's not in the Northwest Metro, I don't want to send them to northwestmetroliving.com. I do get listings outside of the focus area, right? And then remember, listings to leads, every landing page is it's like a mini website. So yes, I have many pages on my website. Arvind, is there more to that question?
All right,
Yes,
he
okay.
said that, yep, he said thank you. So I think that answered his question. Perfect. All right, another question for you from Diane. She was wondering, what format do you use in MailChimp to send out the event guide?
Just the basic format is what we recommend to help get through the spam filters.
Perfect. I'm going for a read
Perfect.
once.
All right, and then let's see here. Let's go back to Joanne. She had another question on the tags. Can you explain the purpose of your tags? I guess they were on the right-hand side column. Just
Yeah, I'll go back to my website here. So the reason that I do, well, I'll show you what she means by that. If you scroll way down to the bottom, you'll see these this is called a tag cloud. And this is not really something we teach in the course, but I'll tell you why I have it here. So you can see the bigger the name, like mostly what I'm blogging about is Maple Grove, that's where my office is. Rogers is where I live. I do have several staging blog posts here. St. Michael, Rogers, and Maple Grove are my top 3 cities, and they're all very close to each other, next to each other, really. So those are the main 3 that I focus on. And we always say, like, you can go big but start small, and kind of like what I had talked about Princeton. Look how little my Princeton is, because I haven't really written too much about Princeton yet, or tagged it anyway. So anyway, you have categories in your website, and those are what is on the top here. All of these, other than communities, are categories. So if I click on like lifestyle, all of my blog posts that will come up are going to be under the category of lifestyle. Now, I don't want to have categories for every city that I cover, okay? So the reason I added a tag cloud, and it's just a widget on the back end of the website that I added to the sidebar. The reason I added a tag cloud, because my thought process was, if somebody was looking for something about Rogers, Minnesota, they could just click on that, and maybe they would never see it. Like, I didn't build my website to really focus that way on the cities. Like, under communities, you can see all my cities, but the cities here, these are just the community pages, not blog posts about that city, right? So these now would be all the blog posts that would talk about that city. I've tagged them with the city name, and most of these are tagged with multiple city names.
So the blogs, your blog posts are you're tagging those blog posts to those cities.
So they're both, and let me go into one here. I'll click on this one.
Yeah, I noticed that you have all those cities that are tagged under that post, right? So when you write a post.
Yeah, so it just happens to show up that way. Like, I don't do that, the website does it, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't purposely do that. But now if I want to put on the Rogers page, if I want to say, here's more information about Rogers, right? And I want to put a link to that on my community page, I could go back to that tag.
Perfect. So then
Here, I'll just show you what she means by at the bottom. I think it's down here somewhere, what it's tagged with. So it's the category of restaurants, and I've tagged these cities because they're all mentioned in this post, okay?
What about air to infantry?
So if I go, I could have done it there too, but if I click on Rogers,
All vehicles, I guess.
then I could copy this link up on top and paste that link in my Rogers community page and say, click here for more articles about Rogers, you know, and that would take them
Depends on
to
the
this
ratio,
list,
what the AS
which
and
is
the
really, you know, if you're looking to move to Rogers, this is stuff you might want to know.
Got it.
So it's not a very long list right now, but you know what I'm saying? I haven't tagged everything in my whole website. I just thought, well, I'm going to try to do this and see how that works. And I do like the way that it makes it easy for me if I'm trying to, you know, get information or quickly get to certain posts, and just another way to navigate.
Yeah. So does it have anything to do with your SEO?
I'm not sure that it does, to be honest. That's not why I did it. I was playing, you know, there's so many widgets there. I was just playing around with it one day and I was like, oh, I kind of like this, you know, so it could be gone tomorrow.
You have a great website, Myra. I'm sure you're told that all the time.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. And I was telling somebody, I can't remember who was, I think it was Tracy, but I just went to Etsy and had this like logo made and everything. So I was kind of excited about that. $25 I spent. So.
Oh, wow. That's a great for a logo.
Yeah, you're getting some fabulous and very inspiring comments as well in the chat, Coach Myra. So everybody is loving your site for sure.
Thank you.
Right. A question about while we're here, about the categories. From Andrew, he was wondering, would you ever put a post in more than one category? For example, a farmer's market is an event, but it can also be considered shopping.
Absolutely. Yes. 100% yes. And I do have many that are in more than one category. So that would be like lifestyle, an event, and shopping, like you said. 100% yes. You can pick, though, the main category. Let me show you that.
Myra, was that $45 to get your Northwest Metro Living designed in Etsy? Is that what you said?
Just I ordered a branding package, and it was $25 for the package, and it was a pre-made logo. So this is not only my logo. However, I wrote to the person that made it and asked if she could change the direction of the arrows because they were going in a different way. And mine is northwest, so I wanted one pointed north and one pointed west. And then I had the little heart. So if you see this on Etsy, you'll see the arrows are like going this way with the heart up on the top, you know. And I'm like, could you just change the direction? And she's like, sure. And so I got like a Facebook. If you look on my Facebook business page, the Northwest Metro Living, it has a new cover photo. I don't know. She sent me like a bunch of different stuff for $25. It was pretty amazing, and customized it for me. So I thought it was a big score. All right. Here's categories, and I thought. So if I click on 2, it'll say select the primary category. And you just want to be careful about how you do that. So you do want it, like I want this is my event guide. So obviously I want the primary category to be events. So that's where you would do it.
All right, thank you. That's perfect. All right, we have time for just a couple more questions. Wilma had a question. Hers is, prior to joining CIA, I signed up for a retargeting and exposure ad for a year. 140 people have clicked on my website that I have at my brokerage. She's not gotten to the website in a weekend yet in CIA. But there is no landing page that she has for the one that she is currently doing, and she can't capture any of the leads. Is it possible to connect a landing page before they click on my website to capture some of these leads? And if so, what type of landing page would you suggest she add?
Well, I think I wouldn't have a landing page that requires someone to sign in just to go to your website. So I would say you've already, boy, let me think about this. So some companies just basically retargeting anybody that what comes to your Facebook page, or where are they coming from?
Well, my understanding, I guess, when like it targets like a certain zip code, and when they're on it, and then them just they retarget it. We're following them around whatever pages that they go to, or whoever sites they go to, and then they may be interested, and so they'll click on my website, and that's the end of it. I haven't gotten any leads from it that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So what you could do is have it. I was trying to think about this. Well, like just like I was talking about earlier, like I'm doing a certain city homes for sale on acreage, right? So maybe you could do home, and I doubt they're doing zip code anymore. You should call and talk to them to see really what they're doing right now, because we can't do zip code anymore. So I'd be interested to know like what they're actually retargeting for, or targeting. Um, and definitely I wouldn't, I would take that control of that yourself in the future. But if they can change where they're sending those leads, you could send them to a landing page and just say like, here's a free list of homes for sale in this area. Or you could say, I don't know, I guess a buyer and seller guide. They're kind of early in the funnel to like hit them with a buyer or seller guide, but you could do home value or free list of homes and see if they can change your ad, and then point it, instead of just pointing it to your website, point it to that landing page, and then they'll have to sign in to get it.
Okay. Now you said you can't do target zip codes anymore?
No.
Is that recent?
No, it's a few months old. I don't know if anyone can chime in to remind me when that changed, but if you're talking about real estate or housing, you have to put in an area, and then it goes 15 miles outside of that area. So that's what I'm saying. I would really find out what exactly they're doing right now.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. And then we have one more question, time for one more from Deborah. Her question is, if I need to keep my website under just my name, is it possible somehow to incorporate my community name that I have chosen to use for Facebook and Instagram? She's asking if she keeps her web address the same as her name, how can she incorporate her community name that she's has for her Facebook and Instagram pages?
What I would do is change it to your community, change your website to your community URL, community focused URL, and then take your name and point that to your contact or about page.
So I have to change my URL?
Well, I would. I mean, the reason for that is, and this is a good reminder for everybody as you're trying to figure out what your name should be. I'm gonna Google the same thing, moving to Princeton, Minnesota. And here this says livability. This says, I don't even know what niche means. But if this said moving to Princeton, Minnesota, Myra Jensen, I don't know if anyone would ever click on that. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about it.
Yeah, so for SEO and for helping Google, I love that it says Northwest Metro Living, because I think people are much more likely to click on that because it looks more like it's legitimate versus, oh, it's just some real estate agent trying to get leads. You know what I mean? Even though it really is.
My website is through GoDaddy, because that's who I set it up with, a couple of years ago. I'm not sure how I would go about changing. I guess I would have to probably go through them to change.
Well, your website, your GoDaddy hosts your website.
So I don't have to do anything with them. I can just change my website URL.
No, well, GoDaddy typically is where you would just buy your URL from.
Right.
But what I would do is when you get to the point in the course in week 6, when we're showing you how to build your own website, consider doing that, and then getting a new URL with your community name through, and we recommend Hover to get your URLs or buy your domains from. And then once that's built and it's up and running, then change where GoDaddy's you can also move it over to Hover, your name. You can move that over to Hover, but point it to the
new
about
URL.
page on your website.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if mine, let's see here. Here's my about page. So I don't what is your can you search for homes on your website right now?
Yeah, I have my website through my real page, and it sounds to me like it's quite similar to the ones you guys use. I am able to go into the back end and do a lot of stuff myself, which I'm.
And you can blog on there as well?
Yes.
Good,
It
okay.
seems to me like I can do a lot of the things you guys are able to do on the website that you're recommending through the program. I just wasn't sure how I could go about renaming it, and I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to go through GoDaddy, I guess, to point, or actually through whoever provides your website, I guess. But I would definitely change the name of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to. Don't get rid of your name, because you want. Like, I love that I've owned my name for probably 20 years now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't get rid of your name, but I just point, like, I would point it to this page, or a page like this.
Right.
So if someone's looking for you and types in myrajensen.com, they can get a hold of me here.
I see. Okay. I get you. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Coach Myra. And Arvind and Sierra, for your questions on setting up the websites, just check out the website in a weekend that's provided by Aaron, and it will walk you through setting up a website just like Coach Myra's. All right, so that is all the time we have for today, and we got through all of our questions. So thank you so much, Coach Myra. We appreciate you as always. And don't forget to post all of your wins into the Facebook group so that we can celebrate you. And we'd love to be able to feature them on the call like we did for Andrew today. So anytime you have a great win like that, just don't forget to post it. And we will see you back here tomorrow at the same time for our Facebook ads call with Coach Mariah. So don't forget to get all of your questions pre-submitted ahead of time so that she can take a look at those. So, all right, we will see you all back here tomorrow. Have a great day.